Welcome back again, same day as the previous video, and some goodies have arrived. I was almost going into withdrawal, waiting for the courier to give me some more things to play with. Some of them are good, some of them are just wee things that I wanted. Hang on, I'll just turn the light on. Some things I wanted to make life a little bit easier. And some, well, was in a how would you say, just to see whether it will work. One of the things is a tiny, well, quite small, soft blow hammer, or dead blow soft surface hammer. So that's something I wanted for a wee while, just for little jobs that you just want to give a wee bit of a smacking, but didn't want to abuse with a steel-faced hammer. One of the things is just gently tapping the track saw into position, because I like being able to hold the 90-degree attachment accessory in place, and then I can just tap very gently, and because it's a soft blow, it doesn't actually change position very fast, and it allows you to get that last little fraction of a millimeter almost. I just use the actual body of the tape to give a wee bit of a tap, but I thought let's have something that's a little bit more sophisticated than just using my poor old tape measure. So that was what that was for. The thing here, next I'll just put yours down so don't go away, but what I've got here, they're an accessory for the track saw as well, that will allow me to hook onto the track saw different items, hopefully, and that will, if I can just loosen it off, just slide into the track. Let's see, come on, go in there. That will go into the track and allow me to attach items to the track itself. And that's got some expected ideas of having a bit like a parallel arm system. Now, you know my views on that. However, there is another way of setting up parallel arm tracks that I'm going to think about. Now, this is cheaper than a parallel arm track, I'm just going to suggest. I know it is. So a couple of these set up on your saw can be used for, well, this idea I have. And you know me and my ideas, so I'm going to have to hunt that one down and see whether it works or not. If it doesn't work, there's nothing really lost, and I've got another attachment for my saw at some stage if it is needed. So that was them. Then I've got this, which is it's a bench dog. I wanted bench dogs anyway, but I wanted to make sure I've got a little bit of a flexibility in its use. Now let's just have a look. No, that's not it there. Is that it there? No, that is definitely not it there. Let's see. I've got the different components. Oh, let's get that open. Let's have a look. That's not it there. More there. Oh, maybe it's not the right one. Oh, yes it is. What I've got here is a bench dog that has got an 8mm thread in it. So now I'm able to use the bench dogs, and I've actually got some proper bench dogs like this coming that have got little jacking plates on top, but I'm able to put hang on, I'll just be back with you. I'll be able to put a 8mm bolt in there, or a guide. So that was one of the things I wanted to check up on, because after all, if none of these ideas work, I've still got the bench dogs. So no major. Hang on, I'm getting there. Yes, because it's an 8mm threaded hole, it doesn't yet allow an 8mm pin, meaning if I ream that out, take the threads out, making it an 8mm hole, and guess what, I've got an 8mm ream coming, that means I can put my bench dogs in the holes and then align my guides up with the hole itself. The only caveat there is these aren't tight to the bench dog holes, but I've got another idea there as well. It's not much of an idea, it's just painting the damn things, because the thickness of a layer of paint is a couple of microns, a couple of sprays, take up that small tolerance that's given to bench dogs, and then that would better locate in position to then allow me to put pins in, whoops, pointing in the right direction, like this. So either having an 8mm thread and or pin placement. So I wanted to get that as a bit of a trial run, and as I said, even if it were a bit of a failure or not that practical on the end analysis, I've still got bench dogs. So yay. Only got 6 of them because I didn't know whether it would work or not. So, but thus far, I can see that reaming that out, because it's a hole that goes right through, or putting in like that should work quite well. And as I said, I've got actually another bench dog coming that has got that sort of facility, that's got a lift plate, jacking plate, whatever you want to call it. So it's just trying all these ideas. Many of them will never work, but until you have tried it, well, you won't know, will you? This one here is simply the these wee rollers that I thought I'd get, and if necessary I could put on the bottom of a panel to act as a slide in and out for my drawers, and or put on the back edge of a drawer, so that as the drawer comes forward, it will then want to, of course, tilt up, which will be resisted by the rollers, but then this can still roll out because it's rolling rather than being the friction of the drawer, which can be a bit of a problem at times. Of course, it doesn't address the fact that the friction's on the front edge as well, where all the weight is, but I'm just trying ideas. Probably will never work, but I've got a couple there that I've wanted for some time, just to try these sorts of things. One of the ways I have my my work van laid up is to have, you will have seen them, you know, they're like furniture movers, where you get a set of plates, probably 100mm square, 4 inches square, and they've got some rollers on the bottom of it. You jack your furniture up or your appliance, and you slip one of these little plates underneath, and you can roll it backwards and forwards. Well, I've actually, in fact, come this way, and that's how I've got my van set up. Rather than having the expensive and troublesome rollers, which are several $100s per side for the ones that have, you know, the weight, but I have my roll out drawers made up in that same sort of idea, where the rollers themselves sit on the base there and bear the weight of my my trays that can roll in and out if they are not being obstructed. So these pull in and out, and it can come out as far or as long as the actual drawer is. So, and that's worked really good over the years, and it's a lot cheaper than those bearing drawer slides that you see people using. Yeah, they're better and they look nicer than what I've got here, but this works fine. They're just a series of those rollers in the front, some at the back, etc. The one mitigating thing, and as that one actually showed, as it comes out, it wants to drop down well, the roller would be on top here, pushing on there, so it would keep it level and roll much better. So it's worked very, very well and cheaply, gotta say. So that was what I'm talking about there. Will it work? Don't know. Am I going to try? Of course I am. And if it does work, I'll make a video of it, won't I? You can be rest assured of that. So that's where we're at. I think that's covered off all the wee things I've got today, and I'll just have to wait for another delivery. What I'm currently doing, before I can get back to my much anticipated or quite keen to get a bit further along in the MITR station assembly, or the components, is I'm tidying up the very top shelf there, getting rid of some of the jigs that I've got for another project that they can go out into storage until that project actually kicks back in, if it ever does. And I'm going to make that shelf take my track saws guides. I was looking at different positions up here that you could possibly make use of. They all have their advantages and disadvantages, so I've wound up deciding to tidy up there, which I was going to have to do anyway eventually, but I'm going to do it now. Put my long 3-meter track up there, then some of these other tracks, that's about 2.2 meters. It's a joined track with had an extension on it, and I've got the 1.9 meter track underneath it. So that's what we're doing, which means I have to find a place for all this wood. It's actually don't know what the tawa, or it's another native New Zealand native timber. It's quite a nice even grain to it. That's definitely Rimu. Not sure what type of timber that is, and these are definitely not New Zealand natives. This is Purple Heart, and this is Morambi or something. Oh, it's I can't recall. It's actually left over from my decking at my place here, so that's got to be got rid of into another shed, so it frees up that space. Then I've got to do the same to the second row down, because that will be taking the sheets that will be, well, the panels that will be used in the bench top for the different MFT bench dog hole iterations, because I've got anticipation that I'll make at least 2 or 3 sets up, variations of 100 mil spacings and 96. In fact, thinking about it, I might not even worry about the 96 mil, because I don't anticipate making use of it. It would be nice because I've already got the 96 mil spaced bars, 2 of them in fact, but now that I've got the 100 mil laser cut ones I decided upon, it may not be as urgent as I once thought it might have been. So yeah, and I was going to store it up on the second row or second shelf there. So lots of jigs. Those jigs can then be can now be done away with, because I'll have the bench dog setups, which will replace the need for those style of jigs that I had. Worked very well. Might just wait until I prove the use down on the bench top, because sometimes being able to have something like that that's small and movable might still work. The rest of it's just stuff that I've collected. Okay, well, that's where we're at. Had these delivered, had the idea of what I want to use them for. This will be interesting. This opens up the possibilities a little bit for what you can use the track rails for, track saw rails. So, will be interesting. Okie doke, that's it. I'll see you in the next one, which who knows when that'll be. 5 minutes or 5 days. One will not know. Okay, see you now. Bye.